Real Estate Show, thanks to Rain and Horn. With 142 years in Australian real estate, trust Rain and Horn to guide your real estate journey.
It's time to talk real estate. Jaden Mano, licensed real estate agent from Rain and Horn, the Sunbury and Essendon area. Jaden, it's been ages since I've seen you. How have you been?
Very good, Darren. How are you?
Oh, really well, Jaden. You're back in the studios of 3AW. We're out here in ENS in Epping. Can I tell you a story? This is
Please.
straight off the bat. A dear friend, was looking for a house, or no, wasn't looking for a house, and saw one in his neighbourhood, bit of an upgrade, a bit of a larger property from what he's got. And it's an old weatherboard, and it needs a lot of work, and he's happy to do that. And he sort of went through it, thought, "Oh, I'm loving this place," and it's. He thought, "I'll get my mate, who's a building inspector, to come and have a look." And he came along, and he said, "Look, this looks all right." And then he inspected it, and he's just cutting a long story short, said, "Do not touch it with a 40-foot barge pole."
Yeah. Yep.
He said it's got mould, it needs re-stumping, it's protected, you can't knock it down and build a new one, so you're going to have to spend truckloads of money to get it back to what it needs to be. And he said everywhere he looked, it had problems. Leaky roof, this was gone, the supported beams here had gone, nothing was good about it. Do not touch it, he said. How's the importance of getting a building inspector?
Look, I tell you what, it is important. You need to know what you're getting into. But I had a very similar situation with a property I was selling just a couple of weeks ago, Darren, and I think it just boils down to the fact that it's different strokes for different folks. I had a couple of young couples view this particular property, which also a weatherboard, funnily enough, and their building inspectors said the same thing.
Right.
Had a investor from Sydney, he sent his representative through. They got their own building inspection, and they thought, you know what, we can work with this, and they bought it. So I think it depends who you are as a buyer, why you're buying, and you know what your skill set is, I suppose. You know?
And what you've got to spend and all the rest.
Spot on. And some things can be scary for some buyers, like your friend over there, and other things for people in the know aren't really all that scary.
Yeah,
But definitely
fair
do
call.
your homework, make sure you know what you're getting into.
What's the property market doing? If short term, surely you couldn't put your house on the market and sell it before Christmas, or could you?
You 120% can, Darren. We are in peak selling season. I've got to say, auction clearance rates on the weekend were up 5% for the same time last year. Every December, year on, year out, and I've been doing this 16 odd years now, December is always my busiest month. And if you are in an auction market, you absolutely can get your property on the market. Every year, we're doing auctions up until a couple of days before Christmas. And the good thing about where Christmas lands this year, Darren, is you can get an auction on the 20th of December with a proper 4-week campaign, get it photographed next week, first open for inspection next Saturday.
Yeah.
But listen, the market's going well. I haven't seen it this buoyant in my market since probably before COVID. Look, three-week auction campaigns, get it on the market in a week and a half, 2 weeks, not a problem. If you want to go to market, plenty of time.
And I guess there are a lot of potential buyers that have been interested and been doing their research for the springtime, which is now the busy time.
Yeah.
And they've missed out, and now perhaps getting a bit keen to buy something before Christmas. So the more that's available, the more chance you've got of selling.
Well, absolutely. Plus, we've got a lot of first home buyers coming into the market after the change to the borrowing capacity. So a lot of those folks from the 1st of October have gone back to refinance, and they're sort of getting their pre-approvals now, and they're coming into the market strong. They're cashed up, they're pre-approved, and they are buying in massive numbers. So if you've got a property and you're thinking, do I, don't I, before Christmas, take my advice, do it.
Do it. Okay, that's good advice. We're talking with Jaden Mano, licensed real estate agent from Rain and Horn, the Sunbury and Essendon area. Feel free to call 133 693. Maybe you've heard some building inspecting stories that you'd like to share with us, or you need any advice. Would you put your house on the market if you've been thinking about it before Christmas? Why not, is what we're discussing. 17 to 12. Jaden Mano, licensed real estate agent from Rain and Horn, is with us. And we're talking Christmas period. Is it too late to put your house on the market? No. Demand levels heading into December. Do you have people on your book saying, I want a property like this, and you'll try and find them one? There's still demand around, you reckon?
There's a very strong demand. A lot of folks, as you know, want to get everything done by Christmas. Christmas is the big line in the sand. So we've got a ton of buyers who have missed out or haven't really found the property they're after. are chasing us for listings, whether they want to get their kids settled before the holidays so they can start the new school or whatever the case may be. Really big demand for property right now, Darren, I've got to say. And one thing I will say is if you're worried about not being able to get an auction in prior to Christmas, we still recommend getting your photography done, getting your video done, even maybe hitting the real estate websites as a private sale, because online traffic through those real estate websites goes up around 60-odd% Boxing Day through to New Year's Eve, believe it or not.
Oh, gee, that's
Massive.
huge. Yeah.
So the old adage that, we'll wait until after Christmas, we'll put our property on the market mid-January, old school way of thinking, get it on the market before Christmas, because guess what? Everyone's home, they're on holidays, they're sitting around their houses are full of family, and they think, gee, you know what, we should probably get into something bigger or smaller. So what do? They pull out their phones, they look at the real estate websites, and what are they going to see? Your property for sale.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the shortest settlement is what, 30 days?
30 days. I just sold the property. I was supposed to be doing the auction right now, actually. That's why I'm in the studio, but I sold it yesterday. He wanted to settle in 14 days. Which
14?
You don't get a lot of that. Now, I think we moved it to 30 because I don't think the vendor's bank would be ready in 14. But, you can settle. 30 days is probably the soonest you could realistically settle.
What's the average? There's 30, 90 or 120, isn't there? Which is
30, 60 days, 90, 120, depending on who you are and why. If you're I find that people who are downsizing have probably already sold their properties and they're keen to settle a little bit earlier. Those who are upsizing probably want to take a little bit longer so they can buy something and then get their place on the market to sell, so they give themselves a bit more time.
Yeah, that's a fair call. So what's the average? I mean,
60,
each story's different.
Yeah, 60, 90 days, I think.
Yeah, well, we it's the old, they say there's an unwritten rule in real estate, never buy before you sell. Well, we did.
Ooh.
And then we sold, and there wasn't much interest, and then we did sell under one condition, that they wanted 120 days.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yep.
There was this thing called bridging finance.
Oof.
That was ugly.
That would have stung.
It made me cry into my beer.
At least it was a beer and not a scotch. Couldn't have hurt that much.
That's right. And it was light ale anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
But what I'm saying, if you can avoid that, my advice would be to do so. And have you ever come across any people that have bought somewhere and not sold, and no one is interested in buying it, and they're stuck with the two properties?
Yeah, it's a tricky place to be. Look,
it's a tricky place to be.
It is. My advice to all my clients is, unless you can realistically afford to hold two properties, regardless of what condition the market's in, whether it's up, down, regardless of how saleable you think your house is, it is always safer to sell first, because at least when you sell first, you know exactly how much money you have. And hey, if you sell a little bit better than you thought you would, you might have an extra 50 or 100,000 to spend on the property you want.
Yeah, what about the idea of, and some friends of ours did it, they sold and then rented with the view of just settling down to see what was available, what they wanted, renting a place that they thought they might like to buy, an apartment-style living, and then because they've rented, they thought maybe if we don't like it, we can buy a smaller house. Clever in a way, I guess. We had the rush of blood, but that's probably a good way to go in a way, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, we get a lot of folks doing that who are selling to move to other areas. So, folks who are moving from Melbourne to regional, or even if they're moving a few suburbs away, they'll rent first, just to see if they like the area. Yeah. There have been countless times where I've sold 2 or 4 people who are moving into a brand new area, and they call me back 12, 18 months later and say, hey, Jay, home's really great, mate, but we don't like the area. Can you sell it for us so we can move back to where we came from?
Right. It's more often than not, I should do a show called Buy, Swap and Sell, and people would ring up with garage sales. Oh, the garage sale is on because we're selling and we're moving.
Yep.
And where do you live? I live in Keysborough. Where are you moving to? Keysborough, round the corner.
Yeah.
People love their place where they live. They don't sort of expand their wings, do they?
Well, it's amazing how many folks that I meet who have been born and raised in the same suburb, like the older suburbs like Strathmore or Sunbury or even Brunswick. I know folks who were born there, moved a street or two away from their family home, and are still there 50, 60 years later. You can't get more entrenched in your suburb than that, can you?
No, you can't. Thanks to all the crowd. That's it for me. Have a great day.